Alright, I'm back with another Destiny 2 video, and today I wanted to talk about something that I don't know how it'll come across, but lately I've been feeling like Destiny is starting to slide into a bit of a rut in terms of its seasonal model. I know maybe other people have been saying this for longer because this has been going on for quite some time now. But, I do like seasons. I still enjoy playing Destiny, and yet it kind of seems like more than ever we are just kind of following the same pattern over and over and over again to a kind of absurd extent. And we know that we are kind of sticking with just Destiny 2 without some sort of hard, reset like Destiny 3 for, I don't even at least two more expansions that are named, Lightfall and Final Shape, and then what appears to be another saga of Destiny 2 after that, which I have to imagine is at least a trilogy, and that should take us to the end of this current, somewhat new console generation, and then maybe we'll have a hard reset with a new game. But what's going on now is the seasonal model is just essentially the same thing every time. And so little about the model is changing other than the kind of the physical, what you're actually running in terms of these activities. And then, of course, the storyline is progressing. The problem is it just feels like it's becoming such like it's not even that it's a grind. It's just so kind of format repetitive that I'm hoping to see something to break out. And what do I mean by that? So every season we have a new seasonal activity, sometimes two, but usually it's formatted something like a repeatable activity, which in this case is Nightmare Containment in Leviathan. Sometimes that is, it has something with a few maps, like the Battlegrounds, or sometimes it's a little more repetitive, like what we're seeing with Containment, which takes place in one space. This usually joins some sort of weekly story quest, and in this case, that is the series of Sever missions, where we have about, it's usually 6, 7, 8 weeks of these where there's different types of story missions with new dialogue, and they move the story along with that dialogue and new lore pages and things like that, culminating in some sort of finale, which can either be at the end of those 8 weeks, or the finale will be saved until the very end of the season, which we have also seen before. And in addition to that, we have the kind of mechanical aspects of this, where we have the rank 100 season pass. This has undergone very, very few changes since we've seen it. They've taken, high stat armor in, put it out, and stuff like that. There are always, exotics. There are always these scrounger mods. There are always these very pointless masterwork bonuses that take up a bunch of slots. There's materials. But nothing really fundamentally changes here. You are kind of just in this to get the free exotic and then the cool ornament set, which these are getting increasingly cool, admittedly, but it is kind of the same. This is also extends to the artifacts. This format has really not changed in a very long time. The most significant change they made was the fact that you can now unlock all of these artifact mods, but in general, this has not changed a whole lot. The recent adjustments have been things that have to do with the new elemental subclasses, but in terms of things like anti-champion mods, rotating between the various different types of weapons, that has remained the same. And then there is usually one or two really overpowered mods per season that are kind of the meta, and then they go away. This time that is certainly Classy Restoration is the one that's far and away the most important. And then you will spend time unlocking that stuff. The grind for the season itself is always reliant around something that looks a lot like this, where it's the old little boxes upgrade system where these will give you more sources of whatever the one or two kinds of seasonal currency are. that will help you with focusing. The new thing is focusing for red frame patterns and like different ways to get those. And then you can only unlock, maybe 2 of these a week. And then this season you could grind out through the little season rank thing here and get a couple extra. And then this creates this kind of screen where you can focus things individually. I guess that is somewhat changed from other seasons, but it is still fundamentally the same. And then once things kind of taper out, which is around now, we have 1 more week of story developments, and then we are kind of going into autopilot mode. They will introduce bonus reward ranks and things, and grandmasters are coming. And then there is always one holiday seasonal thing, pretty much every season. This time it is Solstice of Heroes that is coming back. There's some sort of the only new thing there is changing how you can spend money on it. There's some sort of like seasonal pass thing where for that event you're going to be able to get silver items. I don't know. It sounds like it's going to be something that makes people mad, honestly, but we'll see. And then the season ends and we do it all over again. This door in the helm will open and there will be some sort of new thing in there full of little boxes you have to unlock, a new seasonal activity, new weekly story missions, and we'll do it all over again. If we're lucky, sometime during the season there could be some sort of secret mission, except those have not really been secret lately. They're kind of just like, here's the secret mission, like they did with the Fox Obscura quest last season, and true secrets are not really a thing anymore to the same extent. So has anything really changed in this model significantly? I would say the only significant change to this model has been the new desire to have either a dungeon or a raid released with every season. That is a significant addition. And yes, I know it is sold separately. It is essentially, I think it's like $20 or something to get the 2 dungeons, and then the reprise raid next season will be free. This is not really something I consider that controversial. Like, I believe that seasons have been underpriced for a very long time. I think $10 a season is a really good deal compared to the fact that like $10 for most other games will just get you the battle pass, like the rank 1 to 100 thing, as opposed to all the seasonal content and stuff we're getting. So the price increase is fine. It's just, I think selling these separately is going to be confusing for people, and it breaks up the player base even more when the game doesn't need it. I will say, I think this is a positive addition. Bringing in duality I think this is easily the best part of this season. And everybody loves running dungeons. I think everyone is going to have a good time with the reprise raid. So I think that is a good positive change that they've added to the seasonal model, but the seasonal model itself has really remained the same. And I will say that, as I've said repeatedly, the storytelling in this has gotten a lot better. Is he still here? Yeah. So we have the kind of ongoing storyline that we've had for 2 years now. They have done a great job of making these seasons kind of connect and flow together, and making a character like Keitel, who showed up in Season of the Risen, or no, not Season of the Risen, Season of the, what was the first one? The Worthy? No, the Chosen, when she first showed up. She's still in the game now, like over a year later. Like we've dealt with her multiple times. Like it's not just like a one-off addition like we were doing before this with, like, say, Season of the Almighty, where it was some crazy scion trying to crash something into the tower, and then we blew it up, and then we just, that was that. They've done a good job of integrating ongoing story components. It's just the way it's being told is very, very similar. And I'm wondering, like, are we really set for 3 to 5 more years of this exact same format? Because it seems like that is going to wear people out, just in terms of, a kind of lack of diversity where, grind the seasonal mission, get the seasonal currency, get these 6 seasonal weapons, and then, introduce new playlist weapons and trials weapons and stuff like that. And I don't know if I have a good answer for this. It just seems like I want something unexpected. And previously, that used to be something like a lengthy secret mission or something, but eventually those started being expected too, where there was at least one kind of long secret mission per season, whether that was the Hawkmoon Quest one, which I can't remember the name of, or Presage, things like that, Vox Obscura. We don't have one this season, maybe because we have the dungeon, but even that sort of became a little routine. And I'm wondering what is going to change with the seasonal model going forward here, or if Bungie thinks they have just kind of settled into like, okay, this is how the game should work, this is what our live service is going to be. And admittedly, they have done a better job of this than most places. And I'm not saying this is not like a lot of content. Like the amount of content here is significant. I mean, this season they even added, all of the Leviathan back, in this new corrupted form. And I think they've done a great job of that. But it's still fundamentally is following the same structure. It uses the Leviathan to do the seasonal activity and do the seasonal weekly missions, and that is kind of it. It's not really changing anything despite adding a new area. And if we weren't adding the Leviathan, we would be adding some sort of battleground or whatever. And then this becomes a yearly cycle too, where we are heading for Lightfall, and we know Lightfall is going to probably bring us a big new patrol area, but it is also probably going to delete something. It will delete all of the seasonal content, and it will delete at least probably one big zone. The guesses are either the EDZ, Nessus, or the Moon, I think now are the options there, given kind of the state of the game at this point. And so even the yearly model is still kind of following the same thing. So what changes is the storytelling, and I think storytelling has never been better in Destiny. But the fundamental structure of these seasons is getting just, it's so identical season to season that I wonder if this is ever going to be broken up in any meaningful way, or if we are kind of stuck with this exact pattern of seasonal activity, weekly story missions, this amount of weapons to grind for, and then the holiday thing, and like all these other kind of fixed points in time that are just repeating over and over and over again, kind of without any real deviations from that model. I still think Destiny is very fun. It's just that I do wonder how long they can do this. Like, we are in about, I don't know when the seasonal model technically started with, Black Armory and stuff like that, but it was a lot different than what we have now. That was before they were doing, there was no like real weekly kind of Black Armory story quests, or if there was something like the weekly Drifter thing where you had the visions from the night. It was different. So we've gotten more substance now in terms of like storytelling from that regard, but it is still kind of fundamentally that same format, and it has been for a few years now. So, and with looking ahead, if we have 5 more years ahead of us, I'm hoping for some sort of shakeup that does not have to be like Destiny 3, but I think I don't know how long we can maintain this exact model with just pretty cursory minor changes season after season. And especially I think after the subclass redesigns are over, that may start, at least that's something new that's been coming the last few seasons, but eventually that will stop. So we'll see. I don't know. I mean, we're in space now. That's something. But, in 2 years from now, are we going to be on the third go around of like the helm rooms and, the war table and things like that? Like, it just, I love how we just cleared everything out of the helm, and now we have new things that are repeating here. So I don't know. We'll see. I think Bungie knows what they're doing. I just wonder if this is going to be sustainable over an even longer period of time based on the years we've had so far, and it seems like we've settled into something that might be a little too familiar at this point. So anyway, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments, and thanks for watching. I will talk to you soon. Take care.